Good morning, Tiger families. Mr. Arkwright here, standing in front of our wonderful school, and a little sad because we haven't been able to do our Meet the Teacher night, which we normally do near the end of September, early October, and here we are just after Thanksgiving weekend in October, and staff and I have decided we're going to do a virtual Meet the Teacher. So I'm going to walk around today and tomorrow and videotape what's going on in classrooms, and teachers can tell you what's happening. I'll introduce you to the teachers and introduce you to some of the new staff, and so you get an idea of what we're doing here and what your son or daughter might be doing here at school. So without further ado, it is time to walk into our school and enjoy our lovely, awesome Fenton Township School. Good morning, Mrs. Bell.
Hello, Mr. Arkwright. Hello, everybody. I'm Mrs. Bell, and I'm new here at Fenton Township School. I'm sorry that I won't be able to meet many of you personally, but I have enjoyed being able to talk to some of you on the phone, and some of you have been able to wave as you've come to pick up your son or your daughter. Please call the office. If you have any questions or if there's anything I can help you with, please call. I'm happy to help. It's been great to meet some of your kids and seeing their smiling faces. Thank you again.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Tuff.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Mrs. Tuff is our DECE within the school and works with Mrs. Kirkland's in our kindergarten team.
Good afternoon, families. I'm so excited to be able to share with you a little bit about our kindergarten program. So, pardon the mask, everybody. I hope everyone can hear me. So the kindergarten program is an inquiry-led, play-based program, and it looks a little bit different this year. Traditionally, we would have beautiful centers throughout the classroom that would be designed in a way that children can play and learn at the various centers. Obviously, this year we've had to reinvent the wheel a little bit, so we're still definitely inquiry-led. There's actually a huge focus on inquiry, which basically is the interest of the children. So we spent a great amount of time listening to them, sharing discussions, observing their play, so providing them with loose parts. So everyone has their own individual bag of loose parts to play with. I don't know if Mr. Arkwright can get a closer look, but it's basically beads, blocks, feathers, felt, popsicle sticks, pom-poms, acorns, pine cones. It's just various loose parts that the children can play with. And we observe how they play with these pieces to lead our inquiry. So in giving them the loose parts, obviously the changing of the seasons, we started talking about the fall season. So with that, we take the fall season and that interest and we actually incorporate that into all of the areas of learning. So for example, we did a patterning with apple stamping just to incorporate the math. The children thought they were painting. They had a great time. It allows us to assess how they're patterning, them to understand the patterning, and then artwork for home. Another thing we're doing is various experiments. So yesterday, one of the children, we were talking about trees and a pine cone fell outside. So they had a question about why is this pine cone closed when the ones inside the classroom are open. So they've been playing with pine cones indoors. So that led us to an experiment on why are pine cones closing. So yesterday the students took an open pine cone and we devised a way to see how it would close. So one of our students said, what if we put it in cold water? So we put it in cold water, and sure enough, the pine cone that we had used, which is now outside, had closed up. So then they said, well, why does it do that? So then we discussed various reasons why the pine cones would close. So in the end, the conclusion is the students discovered that they have seeds inside and that they close up to protect them. So they said it was like protecting their babies. These are the kinds of activities that we're doing in kindergarten so that children are really leading everything. It is children-led, and my job and Mrs. Karkland's job is to provide them with the open-ended materials and the provocations to allow them to make these decisions and learn these outcomes all on their own. So I hope that your kids are having fun here. They are all constantly engaged. The way that we're running this seems to be working very well. They're responding very positively. Should you have any questions at all about anything, please reach out to me via Seesaw. I hope you guys have the rest of a great day.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Karklands.
Good afternoon. I am Mrs. Karklands, and you've just spoken to Mrs. Tuck, who's given you a little bit of a rundown on what the play-based, inquiry-based model is all about. I'm going to take just a couple of minutes to talk about the academics or the curriculum side of kindergarten. Our morning begins with the bins on our tables. They're individual language bins. We start with language in the morning. The students come in, and inside their individual bins is their activities for the morning. We always start off with our name printing. We have been printing our first name, and now we've actually moved on to printing and learning and recognizing our last names, and they're doing an awesome job. It's a great opportunity to also learn about the different letters that aren't in their first name, that are in their last names, and how important they are. Then they move on to their morning work binder, which has some individual activities gauging on how they're feeling in the morning. It gives us a chance to kind of see where they are. We talk about our zones of regulation. Are they in the green zone or the red zone? Yellow zone, maybe they're anxious about something or worried or not feeling well in the blue zone. That gives us a bit of a check-in so that we can help them out through the day. Then they move on to various other activities where they're talking about the word of the week, they're finding their letters, they're practicing their numbers. After we've had a chance to check in with everybody, help them with some of their activities, they do have some free activity time where they have individual play bags with materials in them, smalls that they can work with. It's otherwise an individual bin like that, or a baggie with different activities. Once we've had a chance to have a little bit of free time and explore what's in the bins, we do move on to language reading and writing, where we do some songs on the smart board, learning about our letters and our sight words. We also do some guided writing where we're listening and sounding out the words that we want to write, taking our kid writing and comparing it to adult writing. I think most of you have seen this board on my Seesaw. This kind of highlights the letters of the week. The students are getting really good at referring to this board to look for their sight words that they want to write, as well as look for letters of the sounds they want to write. We have started with our first book, I See. Students were very successful and excited to bring their first book that they have independently read home. This is the book that we're going to continue with, and each student will get their own copy, at which time we will do some guided practice looking at words and sight words and new words that they might have. In the afternoon, they have gym and math, where we're doing patterning and sorting, number recognition. At the end of the day, it is our science or art, and we look at, right now we're looking at trees and the seasons, which I think Mrs. Tuff has already talked about. So we have a very busy day, fun-filled, hopefully, packed full of all kinds of new things for the kids to experience, and that's our busy day.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Barrow.
Good afternoon, Mr. Arkwright. Welcome to grade 1-2. Hello, families from grade 1-2. I would like to just give you a quick walk around the room to let you know what things look like in here and how we go about our day. This is our visual schedule, which is very good for students and any students who struggle perhaps with some anxiety of not knowing what comes next in their day. As we move through our curriculum, we highlight our learning goals. These are changing all of the time, and it helps students to be very cognizant of what we are focused on. This is how we work through our math program. There is a significant amount of math games that help children with their understanding of a math concept. We do math writing, and we do math with the teacher or by themselves. When a student needs additional support in math or language, I pull 1 or 2 children at a time to our guided table, which is very carefully taped off to allow for social distancing. I wear a mask as well as a visor to protect ourselves. And for language, we have a very linear approach, unlike other years where we have bins and other choices for students. The daily 5 means that we cover 5 different things during our language block. We do writing, we work on sight words, we have read to self and read to someone, and we also are able to access our technology, 1 laptop per student, to help them with their language skills. Over here, I want to point out our executive function board. I like to speak to and teach explicitly the executive functions for all of our students. You will hear more about this and learn a lot more about it through your child as we go. These are very, very important life skills that are important inside school but also in life. So I'm very excited that your children have already started to learn about flexibility, emotional control, and sustained attention. A very big part of the program is teaching children strategies to deal with things that get in their way of having a successful day. Very quickly, before you go, we have language bins that are safely distanced, and children can access the materials here. And over here we have the math bins, since we are not able to use the insides of desks. And these have hands-on materials for each individual student. That's everything.
Good morning, Mrs. Armstrong, Mrs. Staples, our grade 2-3 teaching team.
Good morning. Hi, welcome to our classroom. We are the grade 2-3 classroom, and we have lots of great learning going on in our room. So as you come into our classroom, you can see our word wall and our weekly word list that we have and put into our agendas every week. As we work through our morning, we're following a routine that allows us to get to our daily 5 stations where we're reading and writing, doing word work, listening to reading, and working in our activity bins.
And in the afternoon, you'll see me in the room, and I'm teaching math and science and gym, and we have lots of fun together. Right now we're working on data management and graphing. And if you want to take a look at your students' desks,
We're working on being organized in here.
this is the wagon we use for gym, and all the items are sanitized in between use between the children. And another activity we have, Mrs. Armstrong can talk to you about, is our bins.
So we have activity bins that are, the children get to work through the things like building structures and different materials that they can use to build structures. We have those for a couple of weeks before we set them aside and make sure that they're safe for our children to use in any rotation. The kids have been working on really great art projects, and so we like to make sure that we display their hard work here. Our parking lot is where we are accountable to what we're reading in our classroom. So each week we have a new task, something that we're looking for in the books that we're reading when we have our read to self time. This week we're looking for contraction words that in the reading and just reinforcing some of the things that we've been doing in class. And I was just telling the kids how proud I am of their writing wall and just how beautiful it is to see their great writing each week as we put new projects and finished work up to be proud of.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Earp.
Good afternoon. Welcome to our 4-5 classroom. Over here we have our daily schedule. Every morning we have literacy and French, and then we have our recess and lunch. We always go into math except day 1. We are very fortunate to have Miss Armstrong teaching music this year. Then last block, this is our pickles and ketchup period. Sometimes it's science, sometimes it's social studies, sometimes it's the arts. And then we always end our day with gym. If we come over here, this is where we keep our learning goals. These are fluid. They are always changing based on what we're working on. This year we do have our new math curriculum. So the big overarching question is, how are things changing? So within that, we've been touching on patterning and numbers and moving in now to data management. So it's pretty interesting. In writing, we are finishing up our recounts, moving into procedures. And with reading, we're working on those comprehension strategies, making sure we're understanding what we're reading, making those connections, visualizing. Then if we move over here, these are our independent stations for literacy and for math. And this usually happens almost every day after we do our problem of the day, our lesson, and then we move into these independent stations so that I can work with my small group over at our guided table here. And this is where the magic happens, and we dig deep into the learning, work on those misconceptions, and keep on going. So then over here is our proud wall. And our proud wall is very, very important to our kiddos. So right now it looks a little different than other years. We do have pictures of ourselves with our mask and without our mask, so we always know that there's that beautiful smile behind the mask. And kids can put up anything that they want on this wall that they're proud of, so take that ownership. And then ending over here at our executive functions, which are so important to our everyday success, not just at school, but our success in life. So we are really, really working on that organization, and this year especially being flexible, right? So as we see with this, we need to be flexible. So I wish we could be in person for during our Meet the Teacher, but this is better than nothing at all, and I hope to see you soon. Keep in contact. Bye-bye.
Good afternoon, 617, Mrs. Jiggins, Madame Pedersen.
Hi guys, we just wanted to virtually welcome you to our grade 6-7 classroom. I'm Kara Jiggins. I am the morning teacher in this room. I teach the students math, gym, and health. We are so excited this year to be piloting the Edwin program again and using the Edwin ecosystem to work through our new math program. The students are loving being on the computers and being able to be interactive throughout our lessons. Madame?
Hello, welcome virtually. I'm Madame Peterson. I'm usually the French teacher, but this year I have a very exciting position. I am the literacy teacher for the 6-7 class in the middle block, And then the last block, we do social studies, history, soon geography, sciences, art, some music, and some music is with Mrs. Armstrong, and then we do dance and theater. And I'm really encouraging you to please join Remind so we can send messages to you and you can be in the loop the best way we can. So thank you very much for bearing with us, and please encourage your child to have their computer charged so it's ready for the next day, to check Google Classroom for work, and to have a fresh mask on and a mask that fits them. Thank you so much.
Thanks for stopping by.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hiscock.
Good afternoon, Mr. Arkwright, and good afternoon, Fenland Township families. Welcome to the grade 7-8 classroom. At the front, as you can see here, I have projected sample schedule for the day for the students. So a typical day, we start outside with physical education, and then they come back and have French, and then that's when we go through our morning routine, and we do some journaling and go through the announcements. Today is actually day 2, so the students have music with Miss Armstrong today. As you can see for literacy, we do a community circle every day. Today we're doing a video response. We're doing some work on word work for mentor sentences, and then they'll have a work period. And at the end of the day, we're focusing on factors and multiples, doing an exit card, and doing prime and composite numbers. So the schedule stays up here all day. We end the day always with math, middle block is literacy, and then phys ed, French, and literacy in the morning. Also, you can see the kids are very responsible in terms of filling in their own agendas, and we have some due dates coming up because it is the end of the week, as well as next week we're doing a virtual skills presentation with Ontario Skills, and the kids also have to keep track of their assignments, so really keep the accountability on the students. Over here you can see that we are currently doing a book club on individuality, and we're just finishing that up this week, and the book clubs have been fantastic. It gets the kids talking about different books. It gives them choice of what they're reading. So we are going to be reading lots this year, and I really hope that the kids continue to find books that they love and enjoy reading. Over here is our learning goals. So right now in math, we're learning about multiples, least common multiples. We did that yesterday. Phys ed, we are creating and focusing on delivering a soccer drill. Science, the grade 7s are identifying food chains and webs, and the grade 8s are identifying the parts of the cell. So this is up here for the kids to refer to at all times. We'll just take a look over here. Here is our beautiful display of our executive functions that all students are working on at all times. We do need to switch over. We're going to be talking about organization next. And we just finished up flexibility. So our executive functions, we're talking about these throughout the entire school, and it's something that all students can improve on and strengthen. And lastly, this is my favorite bulletin board in the whole room. It's new this year, and basically it expresses visually what the kids are reading. So as you can see, every single student has a novel on the go, and some students have even finished a couple novels, which is great, and some students, including myself, are planning what they're reading next. So this is just a great way to get the kids reading, see what other people are reading, talking about the books they're doing. I challenge everyone to read 10 books. They'll have to read 6 no matter what, so I'm hoping that everyone gets to that mark. All right, well, thank you so much for your time, and look forward to continuing to speak to you. And again, if you have any questions, please send me a remind at any time or an email. Thanks so much.
Good afternoon, our awesome EA team. How are you guys?
Fantastic. Hello, I'm Miss Sarah Chino, otherwise known as Chino, and I work in Mr. Hiscock's class, grade 7-8.
I'm Ann Byrne, and I work in the grade 1-2 class with Mrs. Barrow. And I am Cindy Haynes. I work in the grade 6-7 classroom with Mrs. Jiggins and Miss Peterson.
Awesome. Thank you, team. You guys are great, and you do great things with our students. Good afternoon, Mrs. Henderson.
Hello, hi, I'm Miss Faye. I'm the custodian at Fenland Township Public School. I look after the building and I make sure that your kids come to a nice, clean, and healthy environment.
Good afternoon, Ms. Janke.
Good afternoon, Mr. Arkwright. Welcome to the resource room. Looks a little different this year. We're not allowed to have many students in here or students from different cohorts, but I am still doing the CERT role as well as teaching grade 1, 2, and kindergarten gym, and we're having a great time.
Awesome. Thank you.